Okay. You were doing the My Future's So Bright, I've got to wear shades. That was like my first year meeting you. So she was up on that podium pouring into us, and I was just like, that woman's amazing. Let me tell you a little bit about Mary. Mary began her business on the 28th anniversary of Mary Kay Cosmetics on Friday the 13th in September 1991. She started her business in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So that's why you think Minneapolis, Joe, with the dream and hope of being able to stay home with her daughter, who was 10 months old when Mary started, and replace her income of being an insurance agent. Mary has moved several times in her career. I thought you were a teacher. Oh my gosh, how did I get
I
that wrong?
was. I was a teacher
Okay.
before insurance agent. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Then that's why I was like, how did that happen? Okay, so to replace her income of an insurance agent, Mary has moved several times in her career. First to Baraboo, Wisconsin, then to Beaver Dam, Wisconsin, and now she and her husband of 36 years, Scott, reside in Lake Mills, Wisconsin. She and Scott have two children, Stephanie, 31, who's married to Jeremy, and they have two beautiful little girls, Ayla, is that how I say it? Ayla?
Yeah.
And Rylan. And also Jake, 27, who's married to Caitlin, and they reside in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Throughout her Mary Kay career, Mary has earned 16 cars, 12 of them being pink Cadillacs. She has led her unit to 25 appearances in the Circle of Achievement or higher, 7 of those in the $500,000 circle, and 1 in the 700,000 unit Circle of Excellence, earning her and her husband an all expense 5-star trip to Maui, Hawaii. She has earned over $1.5 million in commissions, with her highest check for 1 month being $17,000. Mary's specific genius is that she can support you in living out loud and living out your priorities. And her most valuable talent is her ability to teach, train, and coach you to be the very best you can through the vehicle of Mary Kay. And Mary has taught me and given me resources on really learning how to listen and listening for what matters and coaching that makes a true difference. And so you've done that for me. I'm so excited for you to just share with us your story tonight. Give it up for Miss Mary Gronholtz. Woo!
Thanks, you guys. So this is all consultants, is that right?
Yeah.
I believe so. We have the guests are invited, but I don't think we have any guests.
Actually, I love it because
Yes,
I
we
can
do have a guest.
I can just give you everything like loud and proud and in person. Okay, so when Andrea,
One guest.
Who's our guest?
I don't know. Who's our guest, Alice?
Her name is Angela. She
Angela's
and
on.
her daughter I spoke with them. We're each other's customers. She's in technology. And so she's on tonight. She's also a customer of mine.
But she can, Mary, Angela can take it. Let me tell you.
Yes.
She owns her own business as well.
Okay, well, Angela, welcome as a guest. If we can see your beautiful face, we'd love to. If not, we'll just see your beautiful name. So anyhow, so when Andrea said, "Would you pop on this and do this?" I'm like, "Sure." We're in our own land, we're never a prophet. So with someone else, we're always like well received and everything like that. So I hope tonight what I can do is just share with you just a little bit of my journey. It'll be short, but only to inspire you and encourage you to live out your dreams and live out your dreams through the vehicle of Mary Kay. And so it's interesting because my daughter, Andrea said, my 31-year-old daughter, she actually was a Mary Kay director as well. And then she resigned her position as a director right before my granddaughter Ayla was born. And I got to tell you, that was probably the hardest thing in my life to do to walk through, because I wanted her so much to have what I had experienced. And she said to me, "It's your dream, Mom. It's not my dream." And what I realized and processed through that, because now she has opened up her own salon and her boutique. She's got a hair salon attached with a boutique, and that literally was her little girl dream. And so I watch her live out her little girl dream. I don't think being a Mary Kay director was my little girl dream. I know it wasn't. I wanted to be a school teacher. I did that for 2 years. I mean, seriously, guys, it was your dream to like grow up and be a Mary Kay sales director? Probably never, or even a consultant. You were probably like, I don't know about that. That's probably not something I'd really want to do. But anyhow, so I was a school teacher. I taught physical education and elementary education. I did that just for 2 years. Then I left teaching, and my husband and I had an insurance agency for 6 years. So God was kind of humorous in that, not humorous, actually really smart, because he took my teaching background, and I had no business background. He had took my teaching background, then coupled it with my insurance background of, selling and marketing and everything like that, put the two together, and it was just a beautiful fit for Mary Kay. So when I came into Mary Kay, now this is 100 years ago, you guys, this was when they had phones that actually had cords, like those curly cords. My granddaughter said, "Oh, that was way back when, Grandma." And I said, "Yeah," she calls me Gaga. But anyhow, I asked her what it meant to dial, and I had to show her a picture of a dial that went around like that. And she said, "That was a long time ago, Gaga." And I said, "Yep, that was." And so anyhow, so I literally, when I was in insurance, we cold called people. That was before cold calling rules. You couldn't do that. And so when I came into Mary Kay, I did what I only knew how to do, which was cold call. So I earned my first car actually literally cold calling people out of a phone book, which you wouldn't really do today. But Mary Kay always taught us that, a stranger is just a friend you haven't met yet. And so we can still do warm calling and warm inviting people with Messenger on Facebook. Maybe someone doesn't know you, but you can leave a voice message, because it's your voice that makes such a difference. So anyhow, so I did that, and I moved several times in my Mary Kay career. And every time I move, I always pick up new friends and new clients, and wherever I go, and using those skills that I learned from selling insurance years ago. But Andrea asked if I would share the blessings of really living out my life without kind of worrying about, I think you said, Andrea, worrying about income. I don't know if that's necessarily true, because every day you employ yourself, whether you're working for someone else or whether you're working self-employed in Mary Kay, you get up every day and you employ yourself. What I love about the opportunity of Mary Kay is that I can work it around the things that really do matter to me. My husband always says to me, "Mary, your life is like a vacation," hence the background. He said, "Your life is like a vacation." I said, "Why is that?" He said, "Because you can do whatever you want to do whenever you want to do it." He said, "You can get up, you can go to Bible study, you can go to lunch with a friend, and you can sprinkle your Mary Kay in between." And I said, "You know what? That's probably really true." So whenever sometimes we go on an actual vacation, I want to get back home, because I want to get to, keep working. So, so I wouldn't say I don't worry, but I would say that I'm more motivated. If I had to work for someone else and they capped me on what I made, that's more troublesome to me than actually just getting up and employing myself every day and making a difference in women's lives. So more recently, I've really realized the benefit of this, because in October, I came down with COVID, and I got really, really sick. So in mid-October or early October, I was hospitalized for 10 days. I was in ICU for 8, and I almost didn't make it. So you really realize the benefit of a Mary Kay career over all those years, because in those, recovery, I just got off oxygen in mid-January. You realize in the recovery that I didn't have to file for disability income, because my income and the residual income of Mary Kay kept going, so that I could still have pretty big paychecks and be recovering and, taking good care of myself. So that's when it really came full circle to me, when I really realized the benefit of a Mary Kay career, and saw the blessings of it all over those years. Because the other blessing is that I had thousands of Mary Kay friends across the United States and the world praying for me. And my pastor said, "Mary, I think all those praying people may have bent the Lord's will," because I literally was saying goodbye to my children on FaceTime and my husband. I said, "Honey, I'm ready to. It's okay. I'm ready to go home." He said, "It's not okay." And so then he got really, mad, and he started everyone cheering around me like, "No, Mary, you can't." And so then all the years I cheered for my kids, they turned around and cheered for me. Like, "Mom, we need you here. Mom, the granddaughters need you here." And so it was kind of like instead of giving up, I turned and decided to keep fighting. So here I am. And after, there's a part of me that's like, wow, it would have been kind of nice to just go home to heaven. You wouldn't have tears, you wouldn't have sickness, you wouldn't have any of that. And yet the Lord decided to keep me here. And so And then after that, Andrea asked me, and so maybe I'm here to make a difference in just one of your lives and share with you the benefit of really working your Mary Kay business so that you can benefit your life and benefit the lives of those around you. It's just it's a great opportunity. It's a great place. Joe's been in it. How many years, Joe? Like a lot. Not as many as me, but 30? Has it been 30? So between like Joe, me, and Andrea, it's probably like, 85 or 65 years. I mean, that's a lot of, or no, 60, 70, 80 years or more. That's a lot of years of experience. And Mary Kay is just the safest place for anyone to just grow. And that's the beauty of it. So you can, the new slogan that we have, that it just fits, is true. It just fits. This business has fit around. My daughter was 10 months old when I started. She's now 31 and has the two grandbabies. I grew up, really supporting my kids' dreams of, my daughter was a figure skater. My son really wanted to play, he played football, and then he wanted to go on and play college football. So he did that. And we got to travel and go to all of his games. We didn't miss one game, home or away. And that was a ton of traveling. And without a blip on the screen in my Mary Kay business. That's the beauty of this business, that you can take it with you wherever you go and work it. And now we're not in retirement mode, but we purchased a cottage on a lake. And so we go up there like Thursday nights and stay through the weekend, and I can take my laptop and still do a facial on the go or whatever. It's just the virtual world has opened up, virtually a bigger world. And so we have such a benefit for that. So that's pretty much what I wanted to share, Andrea. I don't know if that fits what you were looking for, or any questions you wanted to ask.
I was trying to be quiet because somebody was trying to call me, but really, it's always been fun and you're always inspiring. But I think the audience that we have, I'm thinking right now, I was just typing in, I loved what you said, that, you had something that you needed to pay for, which got you moving in the direction. Do you feel like that's something that if a consultant doesn't have a real goal or something to pay for the week, do you feel like that could be a missing in their business?
That is very true. My success in Mary Kay came because I had to. Like, I left an income and I had to replace it. So I knew directorship was what I would benefit me the most financially. And so I became a director within a year and 2 months of starting my Mary Kay business. And back then we had to take 4 full months to earn our car. Remember, Joe? And then we had to go another 4 months to become a sales director. Yep. Andrea. So it took us a little longer. So you guys now don't have to wait as long. But I remember the time when my husband said to me, Mary, I need you to write a check to the household for $500. Now that may not seem like a lot of money, but I choked because, I'd quit my job and I'm home with Steph, kind of enjoying the life, working on earning a car in Mary Kay. And he's like, no, you need to write a check for $500. And so that really got me going. So I did that from my sales money and then could write a check to the household every month. And I'll tell you the cool thing is that one of my offspring directors, when her husband told her, she wasn't an offspring director yet. She was a consultant. I think she was a team leader with 5 people on her team. And her husband said, we're going to go buy a new minivan and you're going to make the payment from your Mary Kay business. And she said to herself, if I want more income in Mary Kay, I'm going to keep moving up, not up the path, because it's not a ladder, it's really along the journey. She said, I'm going to keep moving along the journey and become a sales director because I can see that I could make 3 times the income. So that is really true. When you're a consultant and then become a sales director, you literally almost overnight triple your income. So that is a benefit of moving along the career path. And, at first you don't see it, but just go as far as the headlights take you. And then when you're there, then you can see further. I can remember, I remember earning my first car. My husband took me to the car dealership and he made me get out and go look in the car. I went around and I looked in the back rear passenger window. He said, what are you looking in the rear passenger window? You're going to drive it. And so I literally was shaking looking in the drivers because I had never had a new car in my life. And then we would drive past that car dealership, and my daughter was almost 2, and she would say, mama's car, mama's car. And I'd be like, if I don't earn this, I've got to earn this. And I was so nervous. And now, like 15 cars later, it's like, oh, okay, you pick up a new car or whatever. I take the cash instead, but that's another beautiful option. They didn't have that years ago. So you can do whatever you want. And with a Cadillac, it's an extra $900 a month. What would you do with that? So, I would say, you guys, with what's going on with the pandemic and everything like that, you have such an opportunity, and you have such an opportunity to virtually work this business, hybridly work this business, in-person work this business, and you can still connect with women. Like, I now have clients all over. Like, during, last year, I was just really rocking out, doing a whole bunch of virtual parties. I've got clients in California, Arizona, and it's awesome because it can be, you guys are 2 hours, it's like 8 o'clock my time, but it can be 11 o'clock my time. I can be calling my California clients, and it's only 9 there. So, it's just such a beautiful virtual world. So, okay, Andrea, sorry, that was a long answer for.
No, this is really great. And, we don't have the opportunity often, but I'm going to allow consultants, if you want to unmute and ask Mary a question real fast. This is a special Q&A opportunity, because Mary has built a really solid business. She is stern yet so loving. She listens and really moves people towards and out of their own frustration, but towards their own dreams. And she's taught me so much. I know that Joe agrees. And this is an opportunity. So who might have, raise your hand if you might have something, or do you just want to thank her and edify what she shared?
If I may. Hi, Andrea. It's Dee.
Hi, Dee.
Hi. I just wanted to say your story. Holy Toledo, awesome. Before I had my vaccination and everything, it's like COVID's scary. It was very, very scary because I'm actually prone to getting, upper respiratory infections. So when you said that, you were about to, go home, I'm like, oh, wow. And it reminded me of what I've gone through in the last year. I've had back surgery, so I've had to really rethink a lot my path. And Mary Kay's been there for me, and it is a great opportunity. So I really appreciate hearing your story and how far you've come, and just you're living for your family and being there for your grandkids. I'm there for my niece. I have a brand new baby girl and niece, and I'm just like, I'm in love with her, and I live for her. So I want to build up more momentum, and I just have to get over my mental hurdle. So just thank you for being on and for just sharing your story. It was very inspiring.
Thank you, Dee. I love it.
I would also encourage you guys to take the words out of your vocabulary, like I have to, I need to, and fill them up with more empowering and enriching words like I choose to, I'm excited about, I get to, because it's so powerful what words do in our minds, and also the words that we speak to our children and stuff like that. So Deanna, I just know that you will be life-giving words to that little niece of yours, so that sometimes we have an opportunity to rewrite stories through our children and grandchildren that maybe we never got to experience. And not because our parents or, people around us meant to do anything. Sometimes it's how we process it, but we always get a redo when we have children and grandchildren. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
And nieces and nephews.
Who else? This is an awesome opportunity. Don't let it pass you by. Who might have a question or Alice, are you unmuted for? Okay,
Yes.
Go ahead, girl.
So first, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us and to speak to us, I should say. I am so blessed by your story, and thank God that He allowed you to come and be with us again. My question is, if you were a new consultant starting today, what could you tell us as far as starting our business and building to a director? When you have all this virtual stuff going on now, how would you build your business knowing what you know if you were just starting today?
Okay, It hasn't changed. And so I will tell you the formula. Okay. So I'm going to tell you a story first. So that might help you. So when I went to my first seminar, I had gone on target for my car in April, off target in May, on target in June, off target in July. And I went to my first seminar because my director at the time told me I had to go. I'm like, do you have, like, I just quit a $50,000 a year job. We have a mortgage payment. Because we hadn't sold our house and we have a rent payment. I said, like, do you have a third eye? Like, I don't think so. And she said, well, you need to go and you need to take your husband. And I was like, okay. So I found a way to do that, probably on a credit card, probably not the wisest place to do, but it was the smart thing because it was an investment. And so I went there with actually folded arms, like this crap doesn't work. That's exactly, okay, Joe's laughing at me, but that's how I thought. And I sat in a class for team leaders, and the class was by then executive sales director Debbie Moore, who is now a retired national sales director emeriti. And I'm like I have legal pad and I'm taking notes. She said, here's what you have to do to earn the use of car and become a sales director. And I still have this legal pad actually. And she said, see 10 to 12 faces every week. Okay, you might want to write this down if you really want to earn a car and become a sales director. See 10 to 12 faces every week. Have $300 or more in new sales, not reorders. Joe's laughing. And that's a joke because, I mean, you know, you could do that in one party. You could do that in one facial. And she said, share the Mary Kay opportunity with at least 3 of those 10 to 12 people. 3, yeah. And then she also said, bring 2 guests to every meeting. And so that was when, you know, I don't know if you have, like, I don't have a live meeting now, I have a virtual meeting. So maybe a guest net like this, bring 2 people every time. So I went home to prove her wrong. And I went home and I went back on target for my car, August, September, October, November, and earned my car. So, and then became a sales director 4 months after that. So it works. So I have tested those numbers. So that's 10 to 12 faces a week. So that's 48 faces in a month. I have tested that with every offspring I've had, every car winner I've had. I've looked back at their numbers and said, what did you do? And they did exactly that. Exactly that. So you find a way and you don't say, well, how you ask yourself questions like, how can I see 10 faces? You know, you might not be seeing 10 faces a month. So you started out with that. How can I see 10 faces a month? How can I see 10 faces every 2 weeks? How can I see 10 faces each week? And so then it's 40 or more faces per month. And by then you're getting really good. So it could be with sending out little virtual pampering packages and doing, you know, one-on-one facial appointments. It could be doing virtual parties where you have, you know, 10, 12 guests on one party, you know, and you do that once a week. So I hope that answers, Alice, but it's really in seeing the numbers of people so that you can sell the product to share the opportunity. Does that answer that? Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much.
So a lot of times what happens is we look at ourselves, we go, I'm just a loser. I can't do it. I can't do this. Turn it around. That's the last thing you look at is if it's you. It could be you, but that's the last thing. The first thing you look at the numbers that you're seeing, and then you look at the target market, and then you look at your skill set. You look at those 3 things before you look at you. Because often we look at ourselves and go, what is wrong with me? Mm-hmm. It's nothing wrong with you guys. It's just the numbers of faces that you're seeing.
No, I appreciate that. I think what happens is you get consistent sometimes, and then life happens and it takes you off on another direction, and you get close to those numbers sometimes, but you don't always get there. So what you're saying is what our directors have told us too. So it's a great reminder. But at the same time, sometimes you just get off track, and I'm thinking, but you're telling us the same thing we should already know. But it's
you know what? We all grew up as target directors, me, Andrea, and Joe. Like our national sales director, Karina, who's gone to heaven, would say 3 + 3 + 3. You know, you see. And this is funny, Alice. I had one of my offspring directors. She had a set of twins and a single, and they were so close together. It was like she had triplets. So they call them. So it's like she had, you know, triplets. And she said to me, if you think, Mary, I'm going to hold 3 parties a week and leave the house and put on my pantyhose and go out and leave my 3 babies, she said, you're nuts. She said, could I do it? See the 10 to 12 faces in one party. I said, I don't know, give it a whirl, see if it works. She held one spa party every week, 10 to 15 people at every spa party. She would be driving home. She'd have almost $1,500 in sales, and she never did makeup because she was so afraid of makeup. She would just do a spa party, soak their feet, and do their skincare. She earned a car, became a sales director, and it was all because she said, okay, if you say 10 to 12 faces a week, I'll find a way to do it.
So Mary, just to kind of wrap it up.
Oh, Joe.
we sometimes hear, you guys have been around for almost 30 years and there's new stuff and you don't know the new trends and you don't know. And I just laugh because the formulas don't change. The products improve, the colors change, the prices go up sometimes, the bonuses change, but the method is proven.
Method is definitely proven. And, my daughter, who is 31, she came in Mary Kay when she was like 20 or something like that, and became a sales director. And she did it all by Facebook messaging people. She would just say a friend of a friend. Well, then they stopped that. You couldn't do that,
Yeah.
So that's how she saw enough people to be able to do it. And, Mary Kay, she's like, Mom, Mary Kay is so relevant. Now she's in hair and glamour and stuff like that. She said the products are so good. So the relevancy of Mary Kay is that the products are still great. I mean, I think greater than ever. Sometimes though, our world is so ADD. It's like we catch sound bites here and sound bites there, and we're watching this news channel, we're watching this and that, and we're just like squirrels. And it's almost not allowed us to focus in on one thing, like the big rocks in your life that really do matter.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's true. The relevancy of Mary Kay, it's better even today that it just fits. One of my friends, she's actually in the It Just Fits campaign, Marnie. If you've ever watched the videos, just go to, and now she's pregnant with her 8th baby. 8 babies, she's going to have 8 kids under 9 years old. Is that nuts? That's crazy.
Does she know what's causing it?
Yes, she does. She has figured that out, and Brian loves it. And so they're really good. They're really good friends of mine. And you go to her house, and I'm telling you, it just fits. And if you watch her video, that is exactly how she lives her life. She literally, she puts on a pink hard hat at night. Literally, she's got a pink hard hat in her office. She said, if I were the boss, what do I want my employees to do tomorrow? She puts on the hard hat. She writes down, that's her 6 most important to accomplish list, not to do, to accomplish list. And then the next day she wakes up and she has on, actually she puts the hard hat on when she goes into work, and she puts the boss hat on when she's writing up the things to do. And so she just goes in and then she checks off that to accomplish list. When her kids get home from school, she's good to go. Wow. And they literally live in a 3-bedroom house. It's big, and they've redone the whole basement. So when you see her in the video, the basement, you could probably have 2 bedrooms down there, but it's her whole office and everything. And her husband quit his corporate job and works with her. And they have the 2 bedrooms upstairs. One is the girls' room, 4 bunks in there, and one's the boys' room it's going to have 4 bunks in there now. So she's expecting a boy. So it's just hilarious, but it just fits, you guys, if you choose to make it fit.
Love it. Any other questions or anything for Miss Mary? Yeah, Zulema saying, wow, everybody's making comments in the chat. Well, we do want to talk real quick about love languages. Mary, do you know what your love language is?
I just took that one today. Usually it's acts of service, but as I took it today, it was words of affirmation. And I do think so you can take it and it changes depending on where you are in your life. And I just think words of affirmation is the main one.
I always thought mine was acts of service, but it's words of affirmation. And y'all, this isn't the love language you show people, it's the one you receive. Who else took the quiz? Andrea, what are you?
I am acts of service. And I actually have, but yes, I took the quiz, but then this book is a great reference for people who might not know.
Yeah. Courtney, you raised your hand, sweetheart.
I'm acts of service too. And then my close second is quality time.
I love it.
Very good. Well, with 2 kids, a brand new baby, that's probably true. Anybody else take the quiz, or you know what your love language is? Chrissy?
I was words of affirmation as well. So.
Mine
Love
was
it.
quality of time.
Quality of time.
Quality time.
Quality time.
Anybody else do it? Do you know what it is? No?
Oh,
Okay.
quality time D. She put it in the,
Oh, she put it in the chat.
put it in
Let
the
me
chat.
see. Amy, what is yours?
I actually didn't get to do the quiz. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. You've been a little busy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. All right. Well, you guys do it because it's really fun to know. And it's something you can share with your significant other, your husband or your boyfriend, or both of them if you have one of each. So, you know, make sure that people know how they can show that you want love. On the quiz, it kept saying gifts, gifts. I'm like, if I want a gift, I'll go buy me a gift. Like, no, I'd rather you write me a note than buy me a gift. So, but this has been great. And Mary,
Tell me
we
how great
so-
I am. Tell me how great I am.
You're
Right?
so awesome. You're so awesome.
Stop.
Okay, stop, more. That's great. And you know, Andrea has taken up the helm of being the note writer, and she writes notes to all her people, and they just love that. With my hand injuries, I can't write notes, so I can type them. So I'll type out a note, print it, and put it in an envelope, if that makes y'all feel special. But I know that that's really important as well. And that's a great tradition that Rena always taught us. So, but thank you so much for being on, everybody. And Angela, we will definitely be sending you and your daughter. Is your daughter on as well? Angela, you got to unmute.
No,
recognize
hi,
this, Joe?
everybody. Yeah, no, she's at work. She's working right now.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, good for her. Well, I will make
But I'm
sure.
gonna tell her how much fun I had. And I wanted to tell you ladies that I didn't dream pink and pearls, but I did see a pink Cadillac Escalade Mary Kay when I took off to Florida this last weekend. So
That's a sign, Angela.
I called Carrie out and I was like, girl, I just see me a pink Cadillac Mary Kay.
That is a sign. That is a
Yeah.
sign. There's your affirmation. All right.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everybody for being on. Y'all know that Andrea and I love you guys. We will see you a week from tonight, if not sooner. Let's book some parties. Track it. You've got to track your activity. A tracked number grows. And Mary just affirmed that again tonight. She said the exact same thing that we say every single week, and that you get the most points for on Pop Points. And that is 3 + 3 + 3. 3 parties or 10 to 12 faces, 300 in sales, 3 marketing shares with your director. That's it. Don't complicate it. Don't make it hard. It's super simple. All right. Okay. On 3, we're all going to unmute and we're going to say, thank you, Mary. 1, 2, 3. Thank you,
Thank you, Mary.
Thanks, guys.